Since the overturning of Roe v. Wade 2 years ago, more than a dozen red states have enacted bans on abortion from conception. There hasn't been enough support within South Carolina's legislature to impose as restrictive a measure as that, with the state instead implementing a still limited ban from about 6 weeks. But State House reporter Mary Green explains whether a shifting landscape in Columbia following recent primary elections could change that.
The issue of abortion didn't come up in a substantial way this year here at the State House for the first time in a long time. But the loss of the 3 female Republican senators who played a key role in blocking a ban from conception here a few years ago now has some expecting the issue to return to the fore next year.
I don't think anybody is under any illusion that they're not going to try it.
In 2022 and 2023, Republican Senators Katrina Shealy, Sandy Senn, and Penry Gustafson joined with their colleagues across the aisle, along with a few Republican men, to vote against a ban on abortion from conception. The push failed in the Senate, though it did pass in the House of Representatives, and the Republican-dominated legislature later enacted a ban from about 6 weeks into a pregnancy.
That bill that we were close a couple of years ago. We're gonna take another swing at that, and I believe that children here in South Carolina deserve that protection.
In the last 2 weeks, all 3 female Republican senators lost their primary challenges to male opponents, likely leaving the upper chamber with 0 GOP women. Now the question for next year is whether there's enough support when the new legislative session begins in January to enact more restrictive measures, or even enough of an appetite after multiple prolonged abortion fights over the last few years in Columbia.
We'll get together with our caucus, we'll lay out the agenda and see what happens, and then we'll go from there. Republican
leaders say it's too early to know.
It is something that I'm sure we'll have conversations about to see where we're headed next year.
Senate Majority Leader Shane Massey also notes the state's current 6-week ban has been effective in significantly reducing abortions in South Carolina since its implementation almost a year ago.
We are no longer an abortion destination state because of the legislation that we passed, and thousands of lives are going to be saved because of it. So I feel good about where we are with that.
Meanwhile, the 3 men who won the Republican primaries against the 3 female senators all espouse support for policies that, quote, protect the unborn, or have previously voted for a ban from conception during their time in the state legislature.